Welcome to another episode of Mastering Cybersecurity, developed by baremetalcyber.com. Let's dive in. A block is a container of transactions, plus a small summary called a header, which ties the block to the one before it through a special fingerprint. That fingerprint is produced by a cryptographic hash function, which deterministically turns any input into a fixed-length digest that changes completely if a single bit changes. Transactions inside a block are summarized using a Merkle tree, which is a hash-based tree that lets software prove a transaction belongs in a block without downloading everything. The header also stores the previous block's hash, forming a chain where any alteration breaks every downstream link immediately. Because many independent nodes store and compare the same chain, tampering becomes obvious and expensive to hide. The combination of hashing, Merkle proofs, and chaining makes history difficult to rewrite under realistic conditions. Network roles distribute responsibilities so the system does not depend on one powerful server that can become a single point of failure. Full nodes download and verify every block and transaction according to strict rules, which preserves independence and strengthens collective security through redundant checking. Light clients verify with minimal data by using headers and Merkle proofs, which allows phones and browsers to participate safely with less bandwidth and storage. In POW networks, miners assemble blocks and chase rewards, while in POS systems, validators propose and attest to blocks according to the stake they lock. Incentive mechanisms pay honest work and penalize dishonest behavior, aligning individual profit with collective integrity most of the time. Healthy decentralization emerges when many independent operators can perform these roles without permission or specialized trust. Smart contracts are programs stored on the blockchain that run exactly as written, which means outcomes follow code rather than later interpretation. A decentralized application, DApp, ties user interfaces and off-chain services to one or more smart contracts, creating products like exchanges, lending, and collectibles. The phrase "code is law" captures the idea that a contract will execute even if the result is surprising, which is powerful yet risky when bugs slip through review. Common vulnerability classes include reentrancy, where external calls unexpectedly re-enter a function before state updates complete, and integer overflow or underflow, where arithmetic wraps around to unsafe values. Access control mistakes are also frequent, where only owner functions or privileged roles are not correctly enforced during sensitive operations. Good designs minimize external calls, use safe math libraries, and keep permissions tight and auditable in clear, simple patterns. Wallets are tools for holding and using keys, and their design shapes everyday safety more than most features a beginner sees. Custodial wallets let a company hold keys on a user's behalf, which can feel convenient but introduces trust in that company's security and solvency. Non-custodial wallets keep keys with the user, often backed by a seed phrase that must be written down carefully because it can restore the wallet on new devices. Hot wallets stay connected to networks for convenience, while cold wallets keep keys offline, with hardware wallets providing a secure chip that signs transactions without exposing the key. Multi-signature setups require several independent approvals before funds move, and newer multi-party computation (MPC) wallets split key material so no single device ever has the full secret. Thoughtful backups, safe storage locations, and clear recovery processes reduce the risk of loss dramatically. Attackers do not only target wallets or applications, because incentives around ordering and visibility also create profit opportunities within the protocol. Front-running occurs when an observer sees a pending trade and inserts their own transaction first, while maximum extractable value, MEV, covers a wider set of ordering games that capture value from users. Replay attacks reuse a valid signature on a different chain or context, which can occur after forks or during migrations when protections are absent or misconfigured. Long-range attacks particularly affect some POS designs, where old keys try to fabricate deep history after selling stake, which is addressed through checkpoints and weak subjectivity. Defenses include slashing penalties for provable misbehavior, randomized leader selection to limit predictability, and privacy techniques that hide sensitive orders until inclusion. Architectural awareness helps teams design systems that assume adversaries watch everything and exploit every timing detail. Bridges, cross-chain protocols, and oracles connect one chain to another or to real-world data, and they introduce concentrated risk because assumptions multiply quickly. A bridge might lock funds on one chain and mint wrapped assets on another, which requires trust in smart contracts, signatures, or light client proofs that verify events correctly. Oracle systems feed prices or events into contracts, which can be manipulated through thin markets, sudden volatility, or compromised reporters if design and incentives are weak. Many major losses have traced back to flaws in these components because otherwise strong base chains cannot protect against incorrect external inputs. Safer patterns include minimizing trusted parties, using diverse data sources, implementing circuit breakers during extreme moves, and verifying proofs rather than trusting messages blindly. Every additional dependency should come with a clear failure model and clear procedures for pause, upgrade, and recovery under stress. Secure development for smart contracts mirrors classic software assurance with extra attention to immutable deployment and financial incentives for exploitation. Threat modeling helps teams identify assets, trust boundaries, and attacker goals before writing code, which reduces surprises later and informs testing priorities. Good test suites include unit tests for functions, integration tests for workflows, and property-based tests that assert invariance should always hold, even under randomized inputs. Fuzzing and symbolic execution explore strange paths that humans rarely consider, while static analyzers flag known anti-patterns and unsafe constructs before code review. Formal methods prove critical properties for small modules, and external audits provide independent eyes, although neither substitutes for simple designs and capped permissions. Bug bounties complement audits by encouraging responsible disclosure under real conditions that often differ from tidy laboratory assumptions. Operational security turns principles into reliable daily habits for individuals and teams that must handle real assets and evolving threats. Key material should live on hardware wallets whenever possible, with seed phrases stored offline in durable, private locations that resist fire, water, and casual discovery. Transaction approval screens deserve slow reading because malicious sites sometimes request unlimited permissions that silently allow future token transfers without obvious prompts. Phishing remains a leading cause of loss, so domain checking, wallet allow lists, and out-of-band confirmations for unusual actions reduce risk without expensive tools. For exchanges or administrative consoles that support it, enabling two-factor authentication, TFA, adds a barrier that blocks many account takeovers during credential reuse waves. Incident response plans should include revoking allowances, rotating operational addresses, and communicating impact promptly when a device is lost or a signature was mistakenly granted. The core ideas behind blockchain security fit together like parts of a careful machine, where cryptography protects ownership, consensus defends history, and design choices shape daily safety. Hash-linked blocks and Merkle trees create tamper evidence, public key signatures authorize moves, and robust networks reduce reliance on any single operator. Smart contracts add programmability and new risks, which secure development and clear permissions can significantly reduce with disciplined review. Prudent wallet choices, thoughtful confirmation thresholds, and strong habits around approvals and phishing defense further lower everyday exposure. Governance, upgrades, and cross-chain components require special attention because assumptions change quickly when systems interact across boundaries. With these principles in hand, beginners can evaluate blockchain claims more clearly and make safer choices in practical situations. Thanks for listening. For more audio courses, daily newsletters, and more, please visit baremetalcyber.com.